I grew up in a split household. My mom and my dad were never together. My dad worked on a boat, so he was gone a lot. And then my mom, she struggled with addiction my whole life. It really just made me feel unworthy. I just thought something was wrong with me. That if she could love me more, or if I could be a better daughter, that it would change things. And that if I was good enough, she would love me enough and she would get sober. So my dad passed away when I was 12. And I'll just never forget, my mom looked at me with like tears in her eyes and she's like, I have no idea how to tell you this. And she just said, you know, he passed away. And I just like ran outside, and we had a trampoline in the backyard, and I just like ran to that and I just like laid on it and screamed. You know, after my dad passed away, when I was in 7th grade, my mom's addiction just got worse. I would come home and she would be like on our front porch, like just talking. And I'd be like, Mom, who are you talking to? And she would tell me that she's talking to my dad. And I would have to remind her that, you know, hey, Dad's not alive anymore. Like, let's go inside. I was just really reaching for absolutely anything to change the way that I felt. And so I tried that in men, I tried it in alcohol, I tried it in various different kinds of drugs until I found fentanyl. The way that I describe it to people is, it's like my whole entire life I was driving in the middle of a thunderstorm, like torrential downpour, and I was finally under an underpass for just a second and all the noise stopped. My depression was completely off the charts. My suicidal thoughts were off the charts. It's like I was just really dead set on dying because it's the only way that I could see out. And it just got to the point, probably in the beginning of 2021, where I was like, okay, God, if you're there, I'm really gonna need you to do something, because I'm gonna die. And here's exactly how I'm going to do it. And unless there's another way out of this, you're gonna have to do it for me, because I can't. I decided to start applying for rehabs, and I was getting denied. And then total God thing, I just heard about Hope is Alive from somebody that was in jail. When I came into Hope is Alive, I was very resistant. I'd never really had relationships with women growing up, and my only relationship with women was my mom, and that was a disaster. Like, I just needed to figure out how to stay sober. I really didn't want anything to do with the whole relational side of it. And so the person that was closest in age to me was my program manager. And so she really just took me under her wing, and I think slowly but surely she just began to break down those walls and teach me that, like, women are safe. It teaches you a new kind of relationship with people, that you don't have to bring anything to the table for somebody to love you. I was in church one day, and I was really resistant to the whole Jesus thing. And it was right around like a anniversary of my dad being gone. And I just remember being so emotional, and they were just like singing. And it was the first time that I ever lifted my hands in praise and worship. And I just sat there in the pew and I cried. And I just cried, and I couldn't stop crying. And I don't know, it was almost like in that moment that like I had to grieve my old life. I would not be here today without HIA. Absolutely not, no. I think we grow up, and like in that time we're just like begging for somebody to understand. I do have such a beautiful life today, but I also have experienced a lot of grief, and like a new life doesn't replace that. And so like I always want to be present in the blessings, and I get to do that because of Jesus, because I know the promises of heaven. And yeah, I know that my parents would be really proud of me.